Over $21,000 after their documentation fee for a Chevy Malibu, but look at those interest rates, up to 22.95%. Talk about usury, that gets pretty dang crazy, but Carmax is really struggling. It just doesn't work. When you give loans out to people that can't make their payments and now they're struggling, look at their stock price, another $20,000, and we got a 2023, let's see, 50,000 miles on this one, and you guys can see up to a $514 payment, and that's for 72 months. Think about that, 72 months, but what do you expect here at Carmax? But look at their stock. Talk about a drop. It's for many reasons. At the end of the day, their business model with Carmax Auto Finance is not the best because they gave too many loans to people that are simply not making their payments, and their stock dropped dramatically. But they're not alone. Go look at Carmart. They're the same, they're a big buy here, pay here. They definitely specialize just in bad credit, but at the end of the day, their stock dropped almost the same time as Carmax. Pretty dang crazy. Look at that, 22,000 after that. There's a $399 documentation fee, and we got a Hyundai, let's see here, 26,000 miles. You guys can see, I just can't believe they're advertising 72 months, and they will finance a 2014, 2013, probably even a 2011 for 72 months. That's the situation this dealer's in, and it just all makes sense. Their profit per share, their earnings per share it didn't meet expectations. So that was the start of the downfall. And then their auto financing just taking up so much. They're having to increase loan loss provisions, and it's taken away their money because people every single day, every month are becoming more delayed in their payments. 17,000, 2016 Toyota Prius, let's see, 95,000 miles. And you guys can see that. Some of these might not be the worst deal in the world, but once you finance it, especially at the high interest rate, any vehicle becomes the worst deal at 22.95%. And I'd almost argue no vehicle's worth that. 22% interest. How can you think about that on a vehicle? The amount you will pay in interest, it's over, man. It's over 16 grand for this Kia. Let's see here, 47,000 miles. You guys can see those payments. They are not playing around at all, but that's a big thing. They gave out all these loans, and now every day, they're having more missed payments. They're having to delay people, say, hey, can you get us anything in 30, 90 days? Like, we just need something. Give us a half payment, a quarter payment. That's the situation. Now we got a 2016 Chevy Volt. Let's see here, 113,000 miles. They still want $12,000 for it. I mean, think about it. That's the thing. This place, they've tightened up a lot. They used to give crazy offers on cars. Now, especially 2 or 3 years ago, now they're really tightening up where if you bring your car in, they're going to offer you, pennies on the dollar. They're going to try to steal it from you because corporate, Carmax corporate said, you guys got to be careful. We're running out of money. Their debt keeps rising. They're highly indebted. This company is highly indebted. So they just all make sense why the stock dropped, and it dropped like a rock. If you go look at Carmax, and none of this is investment advice, but if you look at their peak stock compared to now, I mean, it's 52-week low after 52-week low. Look at this, $31,000 for this 2019 Mustang GT, and it has 66,000 miles. Hopefully no one gets in it at 22.95% for 72 months because you're just signing up, man. You're just signing up to run out of the money on that thing. That is just crazy. We got a Camaro here, $22,000. Let's see, it's a 6-cylinder. So yeah, 22.95% still. And a lot of people are like, usury, should it even be allowed at this point at 22.5? And I know people, they missed their payments. They did this, they did that. They shouldn't, at the end of the day, should they just not be allowed to get the car if they can't qualify? Especially when you're talking about rates that are in the double digits, at what point does it just become, it's just too much. It just doesn't make sense. Let's see, we got a Rivian. Let's see, 2022, 39,000 miles and $54,000 after the documentation fee, up to, I think it was a $1,300 payment, which would be pretty dang crazy on this thing. But that's what people are getting into. It's just about anything they can afford. And here's the other deal. They can't sell as many warranties now. So Carmax makes a lot of money off of their financing and their warranties. And they're a different kind of dealership because they offer this stuff in-house. They don't have to go through third-party companies or banks. Yes, of course, you can bring your own financing, and they do still partner with others, $20,000 for this Sentra, 38,000 miles, and you guys can see those payments. They are not playing around. So they still partner with other companies. You can bring in other financing, but they would much rather you finance through CarMax Auto Finance because they make all the interest. And it's just their business. They can make more money. And then they want you to buy their warranty. Other dealerships sell third-party warranties, but CarMax has their own. So it's a little bit of a different game. Here we go, 43,000, 24 SR5, oh, it's an SR5 premium, 44,000 miles. You guys can see, imagine having an $1,100 payment on this vehicle, and it's crazy because, I mean, MSRP, I mean, it was about 50,000 on this thing. So surprisingly, 4Runner's selling below MSRP and just a year old, but it does have 44,000 miles. But these things are holding value like no other right now. 2017 4Runner TRD off-road premium, 33,000, but 88,000 miles. Not playing around, man, not playing around. And that's the biggest thing with CarMax. You have to do your own due diligence. People just come here thinking, oh, it's CarMax, I have to get a good deal. Yeah, they might have good cars here and there, but you have to get a pre-purchase inspection. You have to get a mechanic to check it out because you don't know the history on it. Here we go, 17,000 after the documentation fee. Yeah, don't see this too much. 78,000. Don't see this one too often, man. Not cheap, and they're not playing around about any of these prices. Even if it is 10 years old, they're gonna ask all the money in the world. It's CarMax, what do you expect? But you have to do your own due diligence. You can't just let CarMax screw you over because it's CarMax. They're just like any other dealership. They will screw you over, but they are a little bit different where they're not just gonna add something without you knowing. They're gonna screw you over and you're gonna agree to it. You know, it's a complete agreement with you, but it's a dirty game they're playing with the 22.95%, and it's starting to bite them now because the people they gave all these loans out to are not making their payments. 33,000 after the doc fee for this Porsche. Let's see here, 56,000 miles. I wonder what this costs new. You know, I really do wonder, at least 60 grand. So talk about depreciation. Let me know what you guys think at CarMax, where the stock dropped like a rock and people are starting to learn, man, I guess they're just not making their payments. And it's starting to become a huge deal with these used car dealerships that offer their own in-house financing. Their stock's dropping like a rock. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.